Alrighty, good evening. This is the Bedford Township Park Commission meeting for February 9th. Call to order the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I do this. Just one moment here. Thanks. Alrighty, the first item is the approval of the agenda. Were there any additions needed by anybody? Otherwise, I will motion to approve.
If we want to add 9D, just be the trade fair, just some info or something.
We can do that. 9D we'll add, and it'll be just trade fair discussion. And with that addition, like I said, I'll motion to approve with that addition of 9D, the trade fair discussion. Need a second?
Second with the trade fair added.
All in favor? Aye.
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 The agenda is approved. Approval of the minutes. We did not have our meeting, the second one of January that was canceled due to weather. So this is actually the approval of the minutes from January 12th, our first meeting in January. I reviewed them. I didn't notice any changes. If anybody has any changes or the things that need caught, let us know. Otherwise, I will motion to approve those minutes.
Support.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
The minutes from January 12th are approved. We are to you, Aaron, Secretary's report. Thank you, sir. Item 5, Treasurer's report.
Waiting for this to load up. We got some bills here.
We'll have her load up.
These would be all the bills that would have been approved last meeting and
Correct.
a few additional ones.
I figured this was going to be the little larger report.
It's actually not the largest charges report I've had. I will say that.
It is off season.
That is true. Coming.
Did you mention the video?
Yeah. And if you are watching on video tonight, I know YouTube has the video feed and the audio. The other feeds are audio only, so if you're not seeing any video, we are aware. Just waiting for that treasurer's report. No, it's not. We've just blank screens.
What's going on there?
Oh, if it's on the big screen, that's fine. I can turn around and glance.
Oh, that's different.
Not us.
Pictures of parks.
That's fine. We've got here, if you want to
Okay.
review it.
So we have this pull up on phones here. So we have 2 separate cleaning bills for Amy Frost, 1 cleaning at Samari, 1 cleaning a car. I have multiple consumers bills, various parks, 2 Michigan gas bills, 1 at each of the halls, Samari and car, and then 2 water bills, 1 at Parmalee, 1 at car, and then also we are paying for our table at the trade fair, which is $295.
Okay.
On to revenue, Robert Clare. This is the farm lease at Anstead Park, 23 acres of undeveloped farmland, $2,340.63. And we also received 2 separate payments for the cell tower at Carr Park, which is $2,585.49 each, so times 2. So over $7,000 in revenue.
Any of the utilities, like out of whack or
About normal.
extremely, yeah, completely normal. Okay.
So it's 7,000 for the month? In
70.
Well, total revenue that we've received, because we didn't have our last meeting, so I already had a cell tower payment come in for that, and they already paid for this month too.
okay.
Our
We got 2
largest
cell tower payments at Carr, and then
So that 7,000 is over the course of a month, 6 weeks, 2 months?
2 months.
okay.
And then as well, and then at Anstead Park, there's that 23 acres that's undeveloped, that's currently farmed. The guy rents it.
That's
2,300
to us.
Yeah, he paid for the year, so we got that.
And all
money,
the
too.
utilities, all the bills look normal. Our largest electric was the car rental haul, which is normal. Gas is a little up, but it's been extremely cold. And we've kept it from
Exactly.
freezing. Everything seems normal. Outside of that or any additions, I will motion to approve the treasurer's report.
Amy Frost was 240, 120 times 2?
Here.
Yeah, two
Correct.
separate cleanings.
Correct.
Yep.
One cleaning at Carr, one cleaning at Samaria. And the dates are listed on there too.
So I have the motion out for approval of the treasurer's report.
I'll second it.
All in favor, Aaron?
Aye.
Matthew, aye. Myself, aye. Joshua, aye.
Aye.
Dawn, aye.
Copy of treasurer's report is approved. No presentations are on the schedule for tonight. I'll have them. Are we losing the agenda too, or are you guys able to pull that back up? I'll just keep pressing. No presentations around tonight. Community Education Park Partners. No new information from them. Like I said, it's off season. Just continuing forward with that. Comments from the public. None are present, so we don't have any comment, which leads us into our old and new business. 9A, Aaron, this is pretty much just for you if you want to take it. Just noting the spring newsletter, which will be the
By the
March 10th
23rd.
issue. Yep, due, and the 23rd is our next meeting, 2 weeks from today.
Got it.
So due by noon that day, just to have an article in. Wanted to put that in there just as a reminder.
Okay, good.
9B, the baseball meeting with the teams, I have set for at 6 p.m. prior to our meeting. I don't need you guys to attend. If we have more than 2 of us attend, it'll have to be an official public meeting, and it's
Right.
not. I'm just making you guys aware. I'm meeting with them to update the contracts for the 3-year period, beginning with 2026. It'll only be Bedford's Best Baseball, 3B, and Black Ops for Carr. Bedford Select, who previously rented and utilized, or leased and utilized Parmalee and Samaria Parks, is not fully dissolved, but they're down to one single team, and they aren't going to be utilizing the parks. So those are going back to just open standard process as is with those. Unless another team comes forward and wants to do a lease similar, if there's anybody out looking, those are available.
Ops, 3B, and who else?
That's it. It's just those two.
Select is done.
Bedford Select is
Oh, I thought you said, so
not
2 teams,
renewing.
only
lease.
2 teams.
Correct. Well, 3B is multiple
lot of
leagues,
teams, right,
multiple,
right.
but
But two
White
has-
Park and Carr Park.
Bedford's Best, that's 3B, right?
Correct, yeah.
Okay, yeah.
It's only going to be White and Carr, you're saying?
All right.
Samaria and Parmalee are off the table at this point? Good.
Yeah.
They're not
so
going to be under lease
They'll be available if teams want to use them.
for leasing and going through.
Right.
But yeah, I'm meeting with them then. We'll have all of our discussions, our updates, anything, they're looking for. I know 3B wise, discussing with them, as I had brought up last year, they're looking at covering cost. It's just a matter of getting approval or assuming, and I'm working with Al on it, getting an additional storage shed for them.
Yep.
By the old one. The old one is completely filled to capacity with all their equipment and field maintenance stuff. 2, they're looking at doing, on the 3 inner fields, they have permanent mounds, like the dirt and everything built in place. They would like to be able to scrape those out and remove them and have basically the matted style mounds that they can store in this shed come out for baseball. And in doing that, the 3 inner fields that are under the lights and actually can be utilized more and are the larger fields, softball can be much more involved then on, because they currently cannot play on permanently installed mounds. So softball, they would need the removable style mounds to have softball partake. So it's opening up the fields to more use and more leagues and opportunities throughout the community. I think it's
need that back
a
in.
great option, but that's just something they're kind of expressing as potential look at for the summer. And Kyle, the director for 3B, he's looking into quotes and different ideas. Are they getting a basic 10 by 10 shed or a pop-up style shed? We're going to look at different options and all that, and I'll have more info for you once we come through with that. That's all I have for that. The last item, or actually C, is the review and continuing on discussion regarding invasive species and the information you've been
Yeah.
learning and gathering. Dawn, I'll let you
Yeah.
take it away.
So this is good. This has been quite a feat. I've spent some time with the Nature Conservancy. I've spent some time with a couple different tree places, talking about how to remove the trees of heaven and the black locust and all the different things. And here's where I think the best opportunity for us is on these parks and the most economical. So we've had 3 bids to take down all the trees of heaven, and the first bid had all the black locust on it. It was $145,000. While the black locust is an invasive species and it does need to be tackled, it's not something that's a priority for that amount of money. And I don't think, if we go before the board and ask for money for that, I think they're going to kind of laugh. What I did is I met with some of the people from the future or the past park boards, Carol Laurie and Connie Veliquit, and they got me started in the right place, and I latched on to Dr. Peter Blank from the Nature Conservancy, which I'm always going to refer to as TNC. And here's kind of what I did, where I landed, and this is probably where we need to go. So the first bid was $145,000 to give every single invasive species only at Wheeler Park. The second bid I got for $18,000 to get rid of every tree of heaven at Wheeler Park.
Okay.
The third bid was $9,000 to get rid of all the trees of heaven at Wheeler Park. So that $9,000 sounds like the best option. Then I reached out to TNC and said, what's it going to take to get rid of the invasive species? And they've already done some work, but it's a grant. And a grant means that you get used, like every third year, you get a treatment. So we've had like 1 or 2 treatments there. Well, it's done a little bit, it hasn't done enough. So even to do a burn, we can't do a burn at Wheeler yet because there's too much there. So we've got to decrease the density of the invasive plants or they're just not going to burn. So I worked with Dr. Peter Blank and a couple things that we came up with. We came up with a first regiment because Ansted Park has a couple trees of heaven also, okay? I don't know that's the major priority, but it needs to be addressed, okay? Wheeler has, God forbid, 20 of them, and they're growing. Our prairie has a lot of sprouts starting up, and they're like this, so they got to be attacked now. If we don't attack it now, we're going to be overgrown, and we're going to look at a bill of $145,000. So I went back to the guy that gave us a bid for $9,000 because he was half as much as the other guy. And he has a little bit less workers. He thinks his equipment can get it done in 2 days. The other guy thought 4 days. He has more equipment, more workers. So I don't know, but I really like the guy that was $9,000. When I talked to Peter, they can also do trees of heaven. However, they can't do the ones that are the size of ones that he's never seen in his life that big. So we've got 5 in the very beginning that you have to have a tree service do it, and they have to grind out the stumps. So you don't even at that point put the chemicals in, you grind the stumps up. They can get all the stumps grind. I got him down to 54, not I got him down, I got him down to 5,400 to get those 5 main trees
main,
taken away,
large.
which is beyond reasonable.
It is.
Beyond reasonable. I've looked around and no one will
To
touch
get
it.
back in there,
Yep.
let alone do the work.
Yep.
It's-
Yep. And he's not going to touch the little ones, the other ones, but he'll tackle those big 5 ones that the Nature Conservancy doesn't have equipment to handle those size trees, okay?
How big are they?
Oh, I think
they're
the
massive,
one is
tall.
probably 12 feet diameter, if I'm not wrong. And if I'm wrong, it's 10. I mean, it's huge. I mean, look, this guy does this for a living. He's got a PhD. He's never seen a tree this big. So it's been sitting there for a while, and that's why we have so many trees of heaven in there, right? They just keep sprouting, and that prairie right now needs to be addressed. Okay, so the first thing that I'm going to do is go to the board, talking to you guys. The first thing that we need to do is go to the board. If you guys are okay with me submitting the 5,400 for the trees of heaven at Wheeler, work with them. What I'm going to try to do is see if there's anything left the rest of this year to squeak out at the end, and then see if they'll write a contract and we can get it done. He can do it in July. I don't really care when.
Right.
But if there's any money left
Having
at
a
the end of
plan
the year,
action in place.
we sat down and looked at the budget, and there may or may not be money at the end of the year that we have in our budget right now to tackle that piece, okay? So that's that. I got long-winded. The second piece is the Nature Conservancy, while we have no active grants, doesn't mean we can't apply for grants moving forward, we can't look for grants. He and I sat down, had some conversations, he walked the park with other people, they looked at everything, and I got a nice report, and I'll read just a smidgen, okay? At Wheeler Park Preserve, the emphasis has been on decreasing invasive trees and shrub density throughout the preserve. A skid steer with forestry mulching attachment was used to cut down thick and dense patches of aggressive woody plants. Brush cutters were used to target smaller patches of invasive woods. Woody species controlled including autumn olive, glossy buckthorn, a myrrh honeysuckle, trees of heaven, and multiflora rose. We have focused foliar herbicide efforts in the woodlands targeting aggressive Asian bittersweets, vines, and invasive respouts. Grant-funded treatments applied intermittently from 20 to 24 have successfully decreased the density of the invasive plants at both properties, Anstead and Wheeler. However, invasive plants continue to colonize and persist on the properties, germinating from seeds dispersed by wind, wildlife, visitors, as well as seeds remaining in the seed bank. So I'm going to stop there. So we know that land was gifted to us, and so the previous people probably weren't going to whip out 20, 30, 40,000 to have people start working on getting rid of invasive species. So it is in our best interest to work on this park, or it's going to get more out of control. I mean, those trees of heaven are going to just sprout. We worked up a couple different plans and a couple different things. One of them included Anstead Park. We don't have enough seeds. We're not attracting all the right animals. There's more that can be done that we can make that more of a prairie land. Whereas Wheeler Park has a better prairie. We don't need seeds. We just got to get rid of the invasive species. So as we start looking at what we can do over the course of 3 to 4 years, we're basically looking at around $10,000 a year for them to come in and target to make sure we get it all done. I don't think that's out of control. I don't think it's obnoxious. Doesn't mean we can't work on it and talk on it. Peter said he'd be more than happy to come talk to you guys if needed. I think the reports he sent me, I can forward over to you guys. You can read it. But I think for him and I to sit down, he and I to sit down at the board meeting and talk to them about what we need to do, what it's going to cost, and try to get money set aside is really what we need to do to move forward in the next step.
Absolutely, because we have not had a plan of action or a step-by-step process, or this is exactly
Yeah.
what we've needed to establish.
Yeah.
Which hasn't been other than the grant and them coming in and doing the every third year treatments.
Yeah.
And you're estimating roughly 10K, that includes whatever the process is for Anstead and Wheeler, or 10K per?
No, it would be Wheeler only around 10,000. It'd probably take them 3 years to clean it up.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Now, that can change every year, so we don't want to bid it out as a
Right.
3-year project. We want to bid it out as, hey, if this is the funding we can give to you, tackle everything you can tackle for that amount of money, whether it's 9,000, 10,000, 12,000, that can be determined as how much they tackle each time they go there.
Correct.
Does that makes any sense?
It does.
So that's what I would like to be able to take to the board and talk about the different types of things that we can do, and we can tailor it a little bit by adding a little bit or subtracting. The original thing that we looked at was $44,000. I have that here, I can pass it down. And that was going to be taking care of Anstead Park and Wheeler Park over the course of 3 years, and I thought they could get everything tackled. So I can pass it down, you guys can take a look at it. I looked at that and said, well,
Which that comes to, 12.5 a year for
$12,500 a
both.
year.
So it's not
$12,500 a year.
drastic. For two of our major
No, it's not drastic, and I
prairie parks
I would
that
love to
have
see
great
it.
trails,
I'd
it's,
love to see it go that way, but we'll work with the board to see if we can get it that way, and if not, then we have the dumbed-down version, which is we'll only attack Wheeler Park, and that probably will be more of like a $30,000 project over the course of 3 years. And so we just have to pay it once a year. That's what I have found out, that's what I have tackled, and that does include working on some of the black locusts. I can read this. TNC will conduct brush cutting and whole tree treatments, followed by cut stump herbicide treatment on at least 10 acres of the preserve. Emphasis will be on controlling calorie pear in the western section of the preserve and tree of heaven throughout the preserve. If time and funding allows, TNC may also treat aggressive black locust and black walnut in the meadows area near the parking lot, and may treat other invasive plants throughout the preserve with foliar herbicide. Invasive plants to be controlled may include autumn olive, glossy buckthorn, myrrh honeysuckle, Asian bittersweet, and multiflora rose. So, that's what I've come up with. So we just need to make sure that we're all set, that we want to take this to the board, or if we want to, I don't know that there's anybody else that can do what TNC does because they have the expertise, knowledge.
and they know the park because we've worked with them in the past and gotten
And they work on all of,
initial steps and
Yes.
treatments done.
Yes.
We've never fully come up with a plan and actually
Yeah.
tackled it to make
Yeah.
it a true preserve and dedicated
yeah.
As long-
quality park.
As long as we keep it below the threshold too. If we break it down by year, we don't have to get 3 sealed bids. It could be the quotes that we have as well.
Well, the thing is if you get 3 sealed bids, you got to find somebody who's an expert that understands.
This will be done
This-
through TNC.
Yeah, so they are arborists, they're PhDs,
They are specialists in
they are
this.
specialists.
Which I'm saying is good, that we don't have to go
Right.
through
Yeah.
the bidding
Right.
process if we do it by year. Not
Just remember, the rest of this bid to take down those trees of heaven and 18,000, 9,000, so the 9,000 can get them all down, but,
It's not going to prevent them.
well, he's gonna, I mean, he can do them all, but with that bid for 10 grand in a year or 12 grand a year, depending if we do both parks or just go on one, you're gonna clear other invasive species, including black, or the
Black
Black
locust.
locust.
back locust and black oak. So it's really more cost sensitive.
Right.
The guy that I worked with, his name is Brian at Indoor, I gotta look it up. Indoor,
Question for you too. Those other things that you were naming off, are those also invasive plants too?
oh yeah, they all are. Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they all are.
Some of those I haven't heard of.
They're
so,
not as
yeah.
predominant, and they're there.
Right, but they're not to the
They're not as
severity
of where tree of heaven is and
that's
how bad
that's
that
what's
has
critical
taken
right
over.
now. That's critical.
Outdoor Inspirations Tree Service. So that was one that was the most beneficial. Both of the guys that I met with were phenomenal.
And he was at 9 to do it all, or 54 to do the main large ones.
Yeah,
the 5 main.
53.87 and 50 cents with 5,387 cents. So we'll
Call it
call it
54.
5,400. And that, like I said,
And realistically, I would honestly think while he's out there, and we're actually going to be tackling this, we aim for the 9. And if we can't get to that with the township board, okay, well, at least let's tackle the major ones and do the 54. That would be my,
And I'll be there
thought
the
of
day he
the-
goes to do it. I'll be out there kind of watching, managing, make sure we're getting as much done as we can for the day's work.
right.
So
So-
it might be a second day, who knows? But he's 40. They're between $4,000 and $5,000 a day each vendor.
Oh yeah.
So when the tree came down at Carr, or the tree needed to come down at Carr that we recently did, and even like the furnace that broke in some area,
Yep.
these items, they come out of our annual budget, or do they come like?
Yeah.
Where does the money,
Maintenance fund,
We have a maintenance budget.
which is
which it was an emergency.
like, so our overall budget is 5 figures, right? Like in terms of our,
We have 2 separate budgets. So that maintenance budget is 80,000 for the year.
and who determines that something is allocated into that maintenance budget? Not us.
Not us.
Not us.
Not us.
Not
Okay,
us.
the
We have to go before
non-maintenance
the board.
budget is,
What we aim for each year, and
which
then
is
they,
like 50 something.
and then they award
Right?
us, and
That's like 50 something theoretically, or
Our maintenance budget is 80,000.
not the maintenance,
You said
the
the-
non-maintenance,
the non-
Oh, all the other stuff? Yeah.
all
that's-
the other stuff.
That's like about 250.
I think it was
Or like our
I think it was
our general
244
fund.
this year. I think.
240.
I think
Okay,
244,
unallocated or like
Right,
discretionary.
You're at about 60.
Our general fund, our general
Right, okay.
budget, yes.
So we don't often dip into the discretionary per se on
Correct.
things. Would this be in the, so like where would this dip come from? Are we dipping into discretionary, which we don't often do?
It would be discretionary.
Are we,
Yeah, because it's not capital improvement. It's not putting up new buildings or playscapes, or that's what that fund and where so much of our funds go to get a new playscape or do the pickleball courts. This would be out of that general,
out of that?
correct, that we don't necessarily tap into unless we burnt through an entire, if every furnace went out and every fountain went out and we replaced that and we burnt through the $80,000 maintenance fund,
Yeah.
then they would pull from that to cover the remainder, and
if shit
It's-
hit the fan, or excuse me.
that's
sorry.
where it's,
Yeah, I get it. I
when
know.
it comes down to it, we don't make that decision.
Correct.
We
And they've
decide, do
made
we
it
want to
easy.
approach this? Let's take it to the township board.
take it to the
They
township
then
board.
decide, yeah, let's do it. All right, let's look at this fund, this fund, this fund.
Right,
What are
right.
we shifting numbers around it and going?
And so like, okay, so like so if we went in an aerial view in a helicopter over the square mile or square
Yeah,
5 miles or whatever, over Wheeler Preserve, and there's
5 miles.
homes, there's Stone Coat Park, the airport, other things.
Yep.
How many how many trees of heaven would be in like, are our 5 trees of heaven that we're identifying?
We have more than 5.
Right, but are like these
We have
five?
five big ones that
major-
tree
So
service
like,
has to take down.
so like these 5 for
Front parking lot.
$5,400.
Yep.
Like if I were to draw a circle from Whiteford Center Road to section to somewhere around there, like would I find hundreds of these trees? How many of these trees would I find in a small?
Depends on the plot.
Who knows?
I don't know.
We don't really know.
We don't.
I mean, you can find a whole bunch of small ones along ditch lines and stuff too. Road right away, you always find the small
Right,
ones.
Like my thought is that there's a
Road
ton of
commission's
these,
like
and
mows
we're
that
like
back and-
boiling the ocean, and we are not necessarily equipped to tackle this type of problem because we are a small little parcel in a large ecosystem that is more than our parcel, and us removing any trees or not removing any trees isn't going to make any difference whatsoever other than our little parcel. And
Well, the prairie's gonna be ruined if we don't remove them. It's taken over the prairie right now. If you go walk it, I've walked it 4
I've
or 5
walked it.
times, meeting vendors. They're popping up. I mean, they're like literally popping up. So they got to be little
the
stuff put on
trail,
'em.
like I've tromped through diagonally the prairie, maybe, which I have done that many times over the years, and isn't really easy, and I probably shouldn't do it. And
That's okay.
they mow the
Yes.
lap around, so the lap around is cool, continues to be cool, or that's getting impeded now, or
Well, when you go to walk it, we actually marked all the trees. Not all of them. We marked all the ones we could see. We didn't go back into that back corner, whereas the TNC would go into that back corner, and they'd grab more of the trees.
I have no doubt there's
We know there's more in there.
invasive trees
Yeah.
all around. That's but
More than
I'm like,
likely.
all the houses probably have them throughout their
That's-
backyards. Stone Co.
Well, the one guy
probably
came to a previous
littered with
meeting.
them.
So that will get taken care of. And if you do it over the course of 3 years, they're going to keep finding them. But in that prairie right now, and I don't know how to identify these. I'm just going to be honest. I know the big ones, what they look like, and I understand them. But the little ones sprouting, they all said as I was walking, that's a tree of heaven. I go, it looks in the prairie. I go, oh my God. We got like 20 of those things, 30 of those things going on.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I could imagine there's hundreds. Cool.
Yeah.
But like, okay, so they're all around. The neighborhood doesn't perceive, like nobody from the neighborhood's like, yo, your invasive trees are invading my backyard.
They
yes.
They are. Okay.
They've
we
come
know
to
There
our
was a gentleman that
meetings.
came last year.
Oh, yeah.
Well, he had the
little
issue
streams.
with the whole.
Now remember,
that
if
was-
you get a seed in your yard, you're mowing every week, it's never going to pop up and it's
Never
gone.
going to develop a tree.
So they're not developing in the yards, they're developing in the prairie, because.
Or-
So we are developing them more because
Yes,
we have. So like,
yes.
probably they're not in the yards.
Probably
You're not going to see them because you're not going to have a.
So that's my question. That's where I'm
Sprout.
like, are we?
You can find
are
these
we a bigger
throughout-
problem.
You can find them throughout the
Yes.
township along the roadside in the ditches that don't get mowed, or once a year MCRC cuts them back, and then all of a sudden they're removed. All they do is cut back, and then they come back and rejuvenate
They
them
never
because they never
kill
go
the
to
stuff.
Okay,
The
so,
thing
like,
is, if we
because
don't
we-
spend the money now to tackle
We won't
it,
have a park.
It's gonna be more money later. And right now, we're not hauling away,
Or it's just something that's not within our scope. Is where I'm at. Is like maybe this is just not in our scope.
Then Wheeler should just be shut down, and we don't even have.
I don't know. I'm just saying, like, you know,
We lose a
this
good
is
park.
10% of our discretionary spending.
Well,
in the
I don't
year.
think you look at it that way. I think we go to the
Right.
board, we talked about what we need to get accomplished, we bring the expert in, who's, you know, he's got the PhD in this stuff.
I'm sure he's
I don't
very.
think-
But I mean, it is 10% of our discretionary spending. About.
Well, I think there's a lot of money in the township.
You wait until the end of the year.
In
and
the-
I
see.
agree
In
that
the
there is
CIP,
plenty of money,
in
and
the
the township could
CIP,
prioritize many things.
In the CIP moving forward, we need a plan that we need to spend $2,000, $3,000, $4,000 a year on the parks.
Yes.
So we get them taken care of and they're in control moving forward.
Cool.
Because right now Wheeler is out of control. So we just need to decide that, yeah, let's tackle this, take it to the township, we'll see what they say, and then from there we have to figure out what we need to do. If they say no, they say no. They say yes, then we start tackling that
And this
little
doesn't
project.
limit the opportunity of actually applying for
Yeah.
grants and having it completely covered
No,
by
it doesn't,
grant.
it doesn't limit the opportunity.
Exactly.
And actually, the.
Probably helps.
Peter Blank will actually write those type of grants for those parks.
He will.
Yeah.
I think
And
it
they
should-
did before, and that's why we had the
Yes.
initial one when Wheeler
Yes.
became one. We were under the TNC grant. It expired. We now have the opportunity to reapply to take these steps ourselves and then
Yeah.
prove that we're taking these steps ourselves to earn grant
And we thought.
for it to maintain it and continue.
We thought we had a grant, and then it had to be applied by the end of January, and then he sent me a text and he goes, it's for Ohio DNR only, wasn't Michigan. So we thought we were gonna get, 5,000 thrown at us to help, and so we'll keep looking on that.
So I guess next, I mean, if maintenance can absorb it, like they have other trees that have been issues, it seems consistent there, that even though
Our
this
maintenance
is.
doesn't have the equipment to go back there and do.
Correct,
So-
and that's where, like, if the maintenance budget the same way that, like, the tree fell down on the thing in
Right.
Samaria, the tree fell down at Carr, hey, there's
don't-
these trees presenting issues,
They-
we're dealing with them, we're doing it in
Safety
maintenance.
hazards, they're,
Right, like, hey, we've got more trees here, continue to address them with companies that can't do what maintenance can do, pay it out of this maintenance budget, which is more,
well, if we take care of the
absorbable.
ones that are currently there and we start this process, you won't have tree of heaven that are giant like that in the
Yeah, it'll
future and
be-
have to remove.
And when you do burns, because we can't do burns right now, it's too
too thick.
congestive.
Yeah, I get
When you
all
start
that.
doing burns, that'll take care of those sprouting ones too.
Yes.
It's more just the protocol of, we've dealt with trees in lots of different ways at different
Yeah. Right.
facilities. If they can treat it as they've treated these
So-
other ones recently,
Correct.
I see that consistent and easy. Whereas if it's this new thing dipping into our discretionary spending, which we don't usually do.
Well, that's where we can take
that's-
it from, the maintenance budget, and that's where
So we get.
it's
okay.
one hand to the other, like who, it doesn't matter what account does it come from. It's gonna be
don't
township,
know.
it's gonna be township approving it or not approving it, and then they can figure out which way they want to list that. It's not gonna come from capital improvement.
The other thing that can reduce the TNC's cost, and this is already started in the township, now that it has to be completed, is that their maintenance people can get certified to take down the trees of heaven. And they're halfway there and they haven't finished it. If they finish that piece, then we can go back to Peter and say, okay, we like this estimate, now we can do the trees of heaven.
Remove those from the
Remove that
list.
part, and now we'll let you focus on the stuff that we can't do. So that's for us to go to the committee and say, hey, look, this is what we need. The supervisor Al has worked on it, so that they got part of that certification done, they just have to finish it. And then they finish it, we've got to get it completed. And if not, then TNC has to do
Which
it.
branch of government certifies this?
Taking it down
So
is
I'm just
easy.
like, oh, another thing.
I was someone
That's
from
so
the
crazy.
state.
So like,
Hey-
even me as a person.
Hey, Aaron.
If I were to do that in my backyard, I technically would be like breaking a law, maybe, or who knows? Huh?
So
Well,
Aaron,
no, you're
Aaron-
not.
Aaron, you can go over to Tractor Supply and actually buy the herbicide to put on the tree. There's two different types. So I've done my research. Those trees aren't big. You notch them, you put it in. You have to put it in at a certain time of year. So the trees feed up, and when they start feeding down is when you need to put it in, which is late July. Goes down and goes into the roots, and that's what kills a tree.
And the class that certifies that someone did that and knows that, even though
Yep.
I'll bet you're.
And then now they
right,
just got to get the
is
last
something
part of the
that maintenance
certificate. Yeah.
needs to ultimately check the box on.
And ultimately to
Yeah,
do
and
it on
they
public
can do
land.
that.
I see.
So you
But
Or
right
apply
now-
herbicide,
Right
yeah.
now, they don't have
Public
that,
land.
so right now I
Right,
have it
right.
in the estimate. So
getcha.
that's a conversation that can take place when we get to the thing, and that would be good if they could do it, because then they could focus on more aggressively getting that stuff out.
They could do all the little ones.
And looking at it in that scenario, that creates this type of plan and this layout as a worst-case scenario
Yes,
in terms of cost.
yeah, but they have the big equipment, so they're gonna get all those
Yep.
5, 6 different invasive stuff that are prickly. They're prickly, and by the way, those things are a little poisonous when they're prickly. Not that you're gonna die from it, but a little kid goes by and snags it, it might leave a little rash or something, so.
What
we
stuff
really
is
wanna
that?
get. You have to read through it. There's
Okay.
5, 6 of them.
Is this
Plant
price
that.
probably conditional on short term because in spring it'll be harder and more?
I'm not sure which plant that is.
Like they want to get
Well,
it
no, they
done now
probably-
while
That's
it's-
that's the full plan, right? We're gonna try to,
I'm like the $5,400 for the 5
oh, yeah.
shebangers in the front.
Yeah.
If like is that like yo we want to do this soon before spring makes this a more difficult job maybe?
Well,
We don't know.
I'd love to do it now because they're not as busy right now.
So that's
they get
maybe
real
conditional
busy-
on the price.
Could be.
Is what we don't. Okay.
Maybe. I mean, that's something I can talk about, but I think 5,400, looking at 5 trees.
It's
Whenever I've had somebody come out to take a tree down or do tree work, you're
Yeah,
looking
it's-
$500 to $800 just to trim a tree. So I think that was cheap. I thought it was fair.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And this is the same company that trimmed that took down that tree of car that was a threat, wasn't it?
The one in the corner with the hole in it that was.
Yeah.
Brian
that was
Langdon?
Danger.
Brian Lang did?
No, Outdoor
Okay.
Inspirations. I think that was the same company that they used for that,
But
right?
that's who owns it is Brian Lang.
Oh.
Okay.
So it was.
I believe it was, yeah.
Was it? Okay.
I was gonna say that's
Good.
probably why we got a good price because he did that one for
Yeah.
pretty cheap too.
Okay, so I had a lot of conversations, and I'm going to put Ansted Park on the back burner with the seeds. But
Which
if we
instead,
can,
at this point, we can still tackle our fire department going and doing the burns.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
So it's
Yeah.
not like we're just, all right, bye, Anstead, we're not touching this park.
well, we need seeds, and the seeds are 5,000, which is what the last board paid for also. We need more diversity. If we can get our own maintenance to take down those trees of heaven, then we could put it in with that 10 grand a year or whatever, 12 grand a year and get everything completely done.
Correct.
So, and there's a plan on how to seed it and when to seed it. It's after the burn, da-da-da-da-da. So,
After the burn, this
Yep.
time of year, this
Yep.
period, and that's the plan and the process that we needed in place to understand how to approach this, other than simply having the fire department out once a year to do a burn, to control it and call it a day. Otherwise, you'll never get the prairie development that the park should and
Right.
can become.
and I wouldn't have known that. It looked great to me, but the experts know what everything
what to look
was.
for,
They
and
started looking at it.
I'm no expert, none of
Yep.
us are.
I know they burn in the
One of
fall,
those
but
trees really well.
You can burn in the spring and
I was
fall.
gonna say, can they
Yep.
burn in the spring too? Can we get two burns a year? That'd be nice if we could get that. Then we get caught up because we couldn't do it last year because of the
In the fall,
the
the
rain
weather.
Yeah.
and then they
Well, I'm going to
didn't
put it
have
on the
time.
docket. We're going to put it on the docket for the spring, but there's only a certain time.
Right.
And I sent over the sign to you, but it's like March 1st to April, I don't know, 15th or something. I can't remember. So it's hard to get it in the spring because it's so wet.
Yep.
So,
And it'd be nice to get a spring one, then a fall one too. Then we get caught up too. So
I mean, I don't necessarily know
I don't
with
think
all
you
of
want
this.
to I don't think you want to burn twice in a year.
not in the fall. We'll be the different zones, right?
So Ansted Park's been a little bit overburned. Just,
Really?
Just a little bit, yeah. So
okay.
when we didn't get done the fall, it wasn't the end of the world. We're still going to go for a thing, but he said we could actually probably go every 5 years on the section versus every 3 because it was just a little bit too clean. Which you know, I would not have known that. I thought the park looked excellent, but it's the opposite. You know, Wheeler has the better seedlings and all the good stuff going on.
Okay.
Ansted just needs a little bit more seedlings, and it didn't hurt us not to have it in November.
Okay.
So I'm no expert. I just listen to people that are. So that's all I have for the
Are we
parks.
motioning or we're just passing?
I would say,
and
I don't
bring it
think
back
there's
later?
really any need for a motion on, I mean, unless one of you is arbitrarily fully against taking this to township to fill them in and let them be the deciders on how they want to approach it.
If we
Dawn
have to
did
go to
the,
them with-
Dawn did the
So
work
we
in the
don't need-
back.
So we wait and talk to township and you put it on the agenda
And if
later
this is
for-
something, I mean,
Great, beautiful.
Dawn did the legwork, came up with a plan, came up with this is what needs to be done to make it a true prairie and a true walking park. Let's move forward with the plan and see what township and what the board says there.
Okay. So
And if they don't, then we can look at options from there.
I will, if you're okay with that, I'll reach out to Al this week.
Absolutely.
And I'll chat with him and get his vibe on it, and then schedule it for about a month out, and then I'll get Peter in here so we can have
Yeah,
an
if he
intelligent
wants to,
conversation.
yeah,
Yep,
if
he
he
does.
wants to come
I'd
in
like
so
to
we
meet
can,
him.
He does.
it'd be great to actually have a conversation with him as well. I have him open, we'll set it as a presentation
Yep.
or meeting, absolutely.
Perfect.
Okay.
That's
That's it
it
for
for
me.
that. 9D was the trade fair
Yes.
update or discussion. I'll let you, I know you got us registered in that.
Yeah. So I made sure it was on for payment tonight so we could have it paid for, approve it. 'Cause I talked to Al, he was asking like, hey, did you guys sign up for it yet? Well, last year they mailed out the forms and everything to all the businesses and stuff. This year they didn't because I emailed Karen Daggett from the BBA.
Yep.
So I'm getting a form from Al and filled it out. I'm going to turn it in now too. But we'll be probably in the same spot as last year with the fire department, the township table, so we're all together as township entities. Trade fair, it's one day only. It'll be Saturday, March 21st, I believe.
Yes.
Not sure the
pulling that
exact
up right now.
time. I should have it
Yeah, it
here.
is the 21st.
Yes, it will be 10 to 5. I know Friday, once school's out, or maybe they might not have school that Friday, because I think they
usually
do
have like a half day or something.
they do like a teacher.
Yeah, an in-service day.
Yeah, so we can get in there Friday afternoon, get set up and everything's good. I still have the supplies and stuff in my house, like the table cover and whatnot and stuff, so we can
Perfect.
get that going the day before, and we just come in and,
I know last year we had info and all that regarding the like 5-year plan and all those. I mean, honestly, a lot of what Dawn has and looking at this would be,
Yeah.
if there's any type of printouts he has or info regarding these would be excellent info for at the trade fair. Because I know people are generally asking about that and what do we do with those parks and their preserves. We can't touch them, but how do we maintain, like
So like this?
something of that nature, yep. Just to be there for questions and answering it and giving those an idea. I will not be available that day. That is my drill weekend. I'll be at work the whole day, so I usually am there with my company table, and I'm not even doing that this year, so.
So you got a little bit of setup. You got like a couple, Josh, you've got some bins of stuff.
I have the stuff that was passed on to me from Carol, so just some of the.
So other than that, just sitting there with whatever that is and talking to people is kind of our plan for
we
now?
would just bring some literature. I mean, I was going to say, yeah, definitely we can have Dawn bring in some stuff from TNC and then anything she has on Wheeler and Ansted and stuff about that. I think we could maybe.
Or we do pickleball.
I was going to say, yeah,
Yeah.
do a pickleball thing.
Are we, so we've already agreed that we're doing bookings,
Correct.
and that's not set up yet, but maybe it will be? Or
It's set up, just needs to be activated once it's ready.
and the court will be ready, like,
Once
Sometime
the
in the
spring
spring.
breaks and they can
So
do the
it'll be-
coatings.
They have
yeah.
to do the
we
coding
could
and the,
like sit there maybe with an iPad and be like, here's how, like, hey, look,
Here's
we
how
have
to book.
pickleball.
Show
Here's
them
you
how to
book. Here's
do
how
the
you book.
booking.
Here's how you book. And just be like, you go on the website, get your booking, make a booking for May and learn how to do it. And I'll sit there all day with an iPad.
Coatings are all going to be solely, it very well may not be completed until in May with the weather and the temperature it needs to be for those,
for the
for
court.
laying the
So then
court
whatever, huh? So
topping.
then-
That's
We could
the only
even
gray
just
areas.
talk about it.
They got the base in place, they got the fencing in place, they got everything ready to be able to install the courts, but it's solely weather dependent. And
Well, we'll at least
obviously
tell
right now
everybody
in this winter we've had, there's no way that installation.
we can show them how to do it.
Yeah, well, or just let people know there's a pickleball court,
You can,
like, we got
it's going to be a
picture.
link the same way to a hall. Show them this how you get it all. It's going to have a line item for pickleball courts.
But for the trade fair, I don't know, maybe like a big picture. What if we like took a big picture?
Just promoting it. Just
Yeah, promote it.
Anyone have
Yeah.
a
Well, like
drone that
in
does
terms of how to
cameras?
promote it, like if we made a big poster,
Yeah.
if we just took a picture of the area as it presently sits.
Who was with the drone that got our pictures last time of like the parks? I'm trying to
I didn't know
remember.
that happened.
Well, I can probably
We
be
can
there.
get a couple
so
shots.
Maybe
of
Josh,
the
you and I'll
courts.
talk. I don't know. We got a couple weeks anyway to figure it out, right?
I should be there for some of it
There
too.
too.
It's not till March 21st. You got about 5 weeks, 6 weeks.
Seems like
It goes by
pickleball.
fast.
All there is to talk about is pickleball.
Yep.
Pickleball's a rave.
It is.
I golf with a lot
yeah.
of ladies and they're all, pickleball's a rave. I golf with a lot of ladies and they all play pickleball.
I think we should start doing leagues, and we can probably make some money by renting out the courts doing leagues.
Are you going to manage and run this league? Like that's the
Community
variable of
Edge
it.
should do leagues at
Right.
our court.
I think
or
talk to
something like
Nancy and
that,
see
but,
if they're
yeah.
looking at expanding their pickleball, because they do offer it at the Y
Right.
and do a class, and they've got it at certain times. Absolutely, we can get involved with.
I mean, I think it would be
community
cool,
education and
not
have them
just to,
expand it.
yeah, I think it'd be cool, like, promote our courts, but also, like, we can make some money off of it, too, by having these leagues paying fees to use these courts to have leagues. I think we can make some money off of it and kind of, like, help pay for them.
Manage it. Like, unless somebody's doing that, we don't have that
I
capacity.
might actually, I'll probably have some time this summer, so I wouldn't mind helping out with that.
I would say
I need something to do.
call Nancy at ComEd and see, talk with them on it.
Actually,
Get an idea of what it'll entail, what
I had talked to her anyways about that 25,000, so, yeah.
We need a motion for the trade fair or no? That's it.
No, that was just an open discussion.
The other thing, too, well, it's probably come my comment at the end, but just, we could also talk about the inclusive playgrounds and stuff, so, but I'll get to that more public comment at the end. Well, board member comment, I should say.
Okay. Parks update. I know we covered it pretty through. Anstead.
Wheeler, done.
Gotcha. Samaria.
Nothing new.
White, nothing new. It's been frigid, cold, and dead of winter. Not a whole lot's been going on at the park. Parmalee.
Nothing.
Carr. Waiting weather.
Yeah, waiting for the pickleball courts. It's kind of slow season, but we do need. You mentioned a shed for White Park. I was wondering if we should discuss the same
Consider
thing
that.
for the car as well.
When they get me quotes and
Yeah.
that's what I was going to look at is who are they using, who they like. That could be an option for
Yeah.
putting out there and making it strictly for a team on a lease on the field. And
Right.
it already crossed my mind.
And then to kind of go back for Parmalee, I was, since the Select is not going to be leasing it, I was going to add kind of like the pickleball courts, the ability to rent
Yeah.
those as well. It'll take a little bit to build it up, but I'll update you guys more when
I
I
think
have that
that
done.
would be ideal for if no teams are going to go on a lease, a long-term lease, like a 3-year lease, if there's no like travel teams, because we went through that wave of all these teams needing it, and then we've been with Select and Black Ops, and that's that.
There's a lot, I get a lot of emails saying, can my
If-
team come use it on this day? And I'm like, well, it's being used.
If it's not under a lease right now, the only way to manage, hey, you can use it this night or this night would be doing exactly what we're doing with the pickleball courts, putting them on the rental system, saying a 3-hour, 5 to 8 time frame block for each evening. If your team wants practice, then you run it and we do like a $2 or a $5 or something just to have a price in there, and you run it for that evening, and that's your lock of it.
I think at this point, since Samaria and Parmalee are not under contract now, and you never know, teams might need a field that like last minute emergency comes up, wait, we don't have this field, where are we going to go? Those fields could be available. I think we should get those listed.
Exactly.
I'll work on those.
Normally and what?
It's
Samaria.
Parmalee and Samaria
Yeah.
fields that Bedford Select was on lease for in our.
Parmalee could even be used for men's leagues. It's big enough. Where
It's big enough.
Oh yeah, like church softball and stuff. Yeah.
It's way too small. It should be for
Well, it's
stuff.
yeah,
It'd be more
exactly. It's parking,
practices.
and that's what Selected. They only use it as a practice field.
Yeah.
As the parking.
Which a lot of the teams, especially the 3B teams themselves, they need. They kind of expand out and go around and find other ones outside of strictly White Pine. They use Indian Creek. They utilize a lot of the fields.
Right.
It's
I don't know.
there's a lot of teams.
Does 3B need more practice fields or no?
Not that they're going to go on a lease on, but their teams might, or
Okay.
their different leagues and levels.
Well,
That's the phone calls that I get sometimes, which would work on the lease. They can
was gonna
rent
say-
it for the night.
They're not going to go onto a lease and do a full thing, but for them to, we want Tuesday nights for the next 4 weeks, then go on, rent it.
Right.
That Tuesday night for the next 4 weeks, pay a minimal fee, and then you've got it locked for you. Just the way we're doing with pickleball courts, just the way we're doing with everything.
I would say when you do go to that baseball meeting, just mention it like, hey, if you guys ever need randomly in the future, of different teams that
It'll
may
be
need it.
made aware of at the meeting.
Okay.
They'll know that when Bedford Select's not there to sign, that
You know,
Bedford Select is no longer on lease.
hey, these are available if you need them. Just this is what it
Exactly.
is. So that way they know they're available if they need it. So
I know we already covered Wheeler. Pocket Parks, I haven't heard any messages or news or anything regarding side park. It's been the dead of winter, and we got really cold.
I can go around and check them out during the spring.
Takes 2 comments from the public, nobody present. Commissioners' comments, we'll go down the line. Aaron? Nothing? Matthew?
Nothing to add.
I have nothing to add. Josh?
Just work on the playscape design still a little bit. So been talking to Al a little bit, just getting a little more insight, thinking where we should head with it. So if we even just like go out and let's just like bid out like White Park's playscape, and then we bid out the cars after that, and then let's say bid Parmalee's. The problem I could see happening is like 3 different companies. We could end up with like one company was the low bidder for this park, one company is the low bidder for that park. I don't want to be dealing with 3 different manufacturers and replacing parts and everything. So what Al had recommended to me is to try and get each of these 3 companies I've been talking with, the 3 main companies that we like so far, and let's have them price out each of the 4 parks and what it would be to do replacements at each of those 4 parks and figure out who's got the better price on all those parks together, and then we can figure out, okay, that's who we're going to use.
And that's what they did before with Miracle is
Yes.
we don't want to be going through buying parts through 4 different companies.
Exactly.
When this one breaks this park, or that we do want it
Exactly.
uniform and together.
And not only that, it would be good for the CIP because then, okay, we know what this playscape's going to cost the next few years at Samaria or wherever if we're doing one at a time. And then on top of that, if we're doing these community donations like we had talked about, then we can start funding these different playscapes ahead of time.
Correct.
So,
Nope, you've got the right plan with that.
so doing that, and then also Al had recommended to talk to the Ability Center in Sylvania to have them kind of give us some insight and like show them some of our designs and just get some feedback. So I got to reach out to them tomorrow. So that's what I'm working on, and then I would like to have some info by the next meeting, and I definitely want to have some stuff ready for that for the trade fair for the public to see.
Okay. Don?
I got everything out already. I'm all good.
Perfect. Our next meeting is 2 weeks out, the 23rd at 7 p.m. here. Need a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn, second.
I will second.
I meant to say second, yeah. They say it differently at Township Board meetings, I'm just so used to being.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
This meeting is adjourned. Thanks, everybody. Have a good night.